A refreshing afternoon to you all. My name is Benjamin Avickson, as Mr. David Akande hinted a while ago. My name, once again, is Benjamin Lekete Kweku Avickson. I happen to be the Southern Sector Manager for Glyco Life Ghana. And I sincerely grateful for this opportunity. And so permit me to take this opportunity to thank the organizers for this amazing seminar, the Wave Technologies and Consultancy in collaboration with National Service Authority, that is the Kintampo team. I am extremely grateful and excited to be part here. Like I said, I work with Glyco. I think David was trying to talk a little bit about me. And so let me take this opportunity to let you guys understand and appreciate where Benjamin is coming from. There's a lot that is happening as far as the topic that was given to me is concerned. Issues that has to do with what our lecture failed when we are together end up telling us and how we'll become relevant in today's job market. And so, and also finding myself way back the years as a national service personnel. And so I thought it wise that a lot of the time that we're going to have this breakout and promptings, I will be using myself and other relevant people that perhaps you guys may have known in Ghana so that we can vehemently situate ourselves into today's topic and what we would want to and prep ourselves to become. And so Benjamin Avickson, I hail from, the Koforidua. I was born in Koforidua. I started my life insurance business as a sales executive some 21 years down the line. And Benjamin here is a very young person. I am not even up to 38 years. But I just want to tell you that life is a different coin, and where you are coming from should be able to determine where you would want to go as far as your life and the pursuit of your assignment and destiny is concerned. And so I started life business around Koforidua, on the street of Koforidua. My parents are normal petty traders, and I always seize this moment to thank them so very much, the late Emmanuel Avickson and my mom, Beatrice Agama, and I call her my godmother, and in the pursuit of her name as Martha Agama. These three people has seriously influenced my life, and in every step of the way, I have told myself I have to change the narrative. Every step of the way, I told myself I want to change the narrative. So right after secondary school, I find myself working around a rural bank and assisting them as a normal clerk right after secondary school. Now, in my pursuit of this job that I end up assisting, my mom happened to be a petty trader. Like I said, she sells fruits and all of that. I will go sell, make time, and still go and do the other line business. Long story short, I had the opportunity to join the Glyco business as a sales executive. I worked myself out, remain determined that if I want to change the status quo for myself and probably generation yet unborn, there's the need for me to tweak the narrative in terms of one, setting clear goals and prioritizing my tasks. And so at the end of the day, long story short, I rose through the rank as a sales executive, happened to be the first unit manager with the company, end up becoming the agency manager at Oda branch, end up becoming the branch manager at the head office branch, and also moving from the branch level to a zonal manager, managing the Southeast offices and business of Glyco Life as far as the country is concerned. And now sitting in the capacity as the entire Southern sector, spanning from Takrady, coming to Cape Coast, moving all the way from Suedro office, then coming to Nkoko, going to Koforidua, going to Akosombo office, going to the whole office, coming down to Tema, Bema Camp, East Legon, Accra next, that is our La Paz office, and numerous offices here in Greater Accra. I am extremely privileged managing this business on behalf of GlycoLife. And like I said, I am not even up to 38 years. A lot of things has gone through. Now, when we take this topic that was discussed with me, I quickly would want us to appreciate where we would move in terms of how one has to be a unique quality person to be able to be attracted as far as the job market is concerned. And so we certainly going to be talking. I think I've taken time to go through the intro. We're going to go through the importance of this section. You can't finish today's engagement on the ticket of Waves Technology and Consultancy in tandem with the NSF Interpol platform today, and you will remain the same. Your mind will be shifted towards you becoming a serious icon, a global icon, where if we would want to tip people or individual, that needs to be able to possess the qualities, the points, the fulcrum for us to be able to enjoy or employ in the job market. Whoever spending your time today with us will certainly have a shift of that mindset. We're certainly also going to go through a few of some practical examples. And then the main reason why we're here this afternoon has to do with what employees are looking out for. I had opportunity, I serve as a Rotarian. I'm sure those who don't know can read about Rotary. I currently serve as the foundation chair. The last board that I happen to be the treasurer for the Rotary Club. I have served on board on the Access Bank in interviewing young graduates who just came out from the uni. I serve on the board with Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, and myself, like I said, I started as a first degree engineering on the ticket of Tech, All Nations. And then my second MBA was in marketing, UPSA, and had the opportunity to also charter in Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, UK, and also came down to Ghana and also go through all the normal documentations and papers that needs to make me relevant in Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana board. And currently, just some couple of months by God's grace, I have chartered as an insurer in Ghana insurance business. And like I'm saying, I am relatively less than 38 years and have been able to achieve this. A petty trader. And that is the focus that I want to open your mind to. And for you to know, irrespective of the background that you are coming from, please relax. We're going to close with you on this and open you up to what the job is always and will always be looking out for. And so we also want to let you also know the quality of human resources in today's modern world that we are looking out for. As I speak to you now, I have the opportunity in managing 140 national service directly under me, irrespective of me managing the branch managers across the southern belt of this country. I currently have 140 direct national service individuals that I'm managing. Now, I would want you to know certain characteristics that we look out for as far as the business and job market is concerned. Now, before we go through this, I want us to reflect on this quote that you were saying. If opportunity does not knock, build a door. If opportunity doesn't knock, respectfully, great ones, you need to build a door. I'm bringing your mind home irrespective of what our lecturers fail to tell us in the classroom, or even what the job market is certainly looking out for. But before we get to that platform, people, there is the need for us to be able to grab and turn around every opportunity that comes our way. And this quote was by Milton Daly. If opportunities doesn't knock, great ones, you need to build a door. Like I said, 21 years down the line, walking on the Kofodia streets, I told myself I want to be one of the influential guys in Ghana and in West Africa insurance space. And how can I be able to get to this dream? I need to start somewhere. Now, I started as a sales executive and working on the street selling life insurance under the guise of what we call an agent. Today, oftentimes when we also have the opportunity, I sit on interviews and we give opportunities for people for a sales role, oftentimes they turn them around. They turn them away. They do not want to even get into. Now, check it. If you finish here, go on LinkedIn, go onto some of these serious potential platforms and acknowledge all the top 10 guys who are making it in the front line of our business. And you definitely will realize that somebody somewhere would have to start selling an idea on the street. And they will not just get this opportunity by getting it on a silver platter or holding themselves by their own whims and caprices. Definitely somebody needs to build a door. And there are instances in my own life, there wasn't any door. I have to hold the door all by myself and make sure that I create that opportunity for myself and change the status quo and turn the narrative all around. Today, my business, if there is any interactions in all the media hubs in this country, and even in Kigali, in Kenya, Benjamin Avickson will be the person that I will be settled on right from the managing director throughout the board. How did I turn these things around? I end up making sure every opportunity that comes my way, I will build a door out of it. Now, if you get a door and the door is locked, people, you have to find a way and open the window. If the window too is shut at you, you have to find a way and open the ceiling. Whatever it is, you have to make way and make sure that there's a movement and you'll be able to access opportunity that comes our way. So with this background, we move straight into why are we here today and what is the job market certainly looking out for. What today ABSA turning, Barclays turning to ABSA, what we call the Nestle's companies are looking out for, what the Enterprise Life company, Glyco, looking out for, and all these relevant business in today's Ghana or in the corporate business sense we're looking out for. One, because of time, these businesses, and as a national service personnel, we are talking about a great sense of positive attitude and energy. Positive attitude and energy. What do we mean by positive attitude and energy? People, I want us to acknowledge the fact that before you can thrive on any company or any business, even if it is your own business, there is a great sense for you to acknowledge and appreciate what we call attitude. Attitude, they say, is everything. Attitude, they say, directs and reshapes one person's thoughts, his energy, his motivations, and the can-do spirit, the attitude mentality. And so what employees are looking out for, we're looking out for an individual, a fresh national service person who joins the team with a unique attitude and energy. I want to break it down further. So from where you are, I'm sure you'll be seeing my slide, and we're saying that positive attitude and energy, the enthusiasm, the motivation, and can-do attitude that contributes to a positive work environment. Now, one will say, what do we mean by attitude? Please appreciate that every industry and what it carries by its sense of the attitude and energy and the enthusiasm and motivation that we're talking about. But in the normal sense of word, when we say enthusiasm and the attitude sitting on it as a pivot to be able to drive a national service person on an entry, common level person into a business, we're saying that showing genuine interest and excitement about the company's role and the industry that you find yourself. Two, you ought to remain optimistic, maintaining a positive outlook in changing the situation that you find yourself. And maybe the last one that I'll add in here has to do with resilience. And so a national service personnel has been employed with Glyco Life to work with us. And we're placing you as an entry role to be an underwriter. There's a huge tax that you need to be able to break through. What is the mentality that you are coming to work with? What is the attitude and the energy that you are approaching the task that we have assigned you to? There's supposed to be a unique attitude. There's supposed to be a unique energy. There's supposed to be a unique optimism that you will be able to surmount all these for us to be able to achieve the common goal. I want us to appreciate that you can't be able to thrive on any meaningful business sense grounds if If you don't have that great sense of attitude and the energy, please, that is very, very, very important for me. As I speak, I've been able to raise 17 branch managers in Ghana and outside the world. 17 managers. And manager, I'm not just talking about branch managers. I am talking about people who are leading corporate businesses and dissecting the dynamics of the business sense of it in making sure that the profitability for which the business is being set is what we are driving home. And I'm spending about 2 minutes on this particular topic, positive energy and the enthusiasm and motivation. If I had the opportunity many years ago to join Glycolife and be selling as a sales executive on the street of Kokoria, and I didn't have that unique energy, and I didn't have that unique motivation, there's no way I would be able to go through all the ranks and finding myself at where I am and sitting on boards, reviewing CVs, and empowering people to be able to make a meaningful life for themselves. Positive attitude and energy. People, they are very, very critical. And I want us to grab that and run home with it. Now, what is in for us, for which we are looking out for? Hello? Great.
Yeah,
Please, can you hear me? Fantastic. Please, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very
fantastic.
Yes.
Now, the second bit is what I call discipline. You can never get into any walls of any serious world international corporate standard if you are not disciplined. Now, in the right sense of it, one will say, what do you mean by you ought to be disciplined candidate? Me just coming out of my national service and period. Now, there are a lot of things that we can talk about in terms of you being disciplined. We're talking of time management, that is prioritizing your tasks and meeting deadlines and managing time effectively, self-control, regulating one's own behavior, emotions, and reactions, changing situations. There's one person with one of our group. Please do not forget that Glyco is a group of companies. And as far as the status of the business, I work with Glycolife. That is the birth canal of all the Glyco group and companies. And there was one national service personnel who was employed in our Tema branch. Now, at every material spirit sense of discipline, when we talk about this guy, he has it. The discipline in terms of time management. And you see, oftentimes, we begin to formulate these attributes when we find ourselves in the schools. Are you part of the SU? Are you part of the club? Are you part of the NUPD? Are you part of those small groupings that you find yourself in the schools? Because these individuals come together and they give a specific task. And that task that they give, they make sure that the leader or the president or the patron or whoever that has a direct supervision of the individuals stay on track. And so, oftentimes, a lot of these individuals begin to formulate these attitudes from this environment. So just after that environment grounds, we always advise that members are to take advantage of what we call the internship sections. So right after school, you get into some business environment, you go through the internship for 2-3 months, you are building experience. My slides will speak about job relevance as we go on. Now, before you finish school, we want to see a minimum of, let's say, 6 months or 1 year job experience already on the CV. And how would you be able to pick out that? It is through these projects and through this outreach that you guys involve yourself. It is through all these internships that most of these students end up coming into the job market to be able to acclimatize themselves through. And we have the opportunity to groom them and train them in that space of the business space. And so there are other national attachment students who have been consistent with the business and other companies that I have consulted for. And when they see their attitude and the culture the company has been building or inculcating in them, when the time comes that they want to be offered opportunity for national service, the company certainly do not hesitate at all, because we have built a particular mindset, we have built a particular attitude and energy, we have built a particular discipline spirit with these individuals, and so it is easy for them to come on board. And so when they come on board with these attributes that we employers are looking out for, Just after the service, you realize that this guy is properly baked, this lady is properly baked, and he become a candidate for us to be able to carry on and indeed confirm him or otherwise as far as these opportunities are concerned. And so discipline is very, very, very key. You see individuals dressing anyhow just after national service. We watch out for that because today they will tell you in the job market, it is not whoever that possesses the certificate that matters. And I was shocked when I got to know of this section way back in Nigeria, one of the seminars that I attended. This great mindset of the oil gurus were saying they are interested about individuals who know how to dress and carry the brand of the company along. And I'm like, wow, how would you go through this? It has to do with discipline. Somebody is dating and dating anyhow. The person is speaking respectfully and speaking anyhow. The person is dressing and dressing anyhow. The person is giving tax and he's not focused on the tax that we're giving him. The person is not accountable for himself. And so if you are to remain disciplined, you need to be accountable. Taking ownership of your actions, decisions, and outcome of any task that the business assigns you. Still under this discipline, we're saying that we're supposed to go through what we call the spirit of perseverance, persisting in the face of obstacle and setback or difficult tasks that is being assigned you. So they are in an unit. We give them an assignment. We give them a task. We give them a role. And we hear the national service individuals talking. Time now, so by 8 o'clock, about 5, we are watching. Today, most of our cameras that we set in our offices has an inbuilt microphones in them. And so we're able to pick all this information. People, all what I'm saying that remain disciplined. Because of time, we're talking about being relevant in terms of an inbuilt skills, relevant skills. And this is one of the critical attributes that we watch out for clearly. There was 2 candidates that successfully went through an Access Bank interview. The qualifications were right with these 2 individuals because we have shortlisted them. And these 2 individuals were solid. Their qualifications were on point. When they got into the business, how they were carrying themselves with their confidence and how their address was on point. Their ability to speak to issues and their confident line of their proficiency in what we are seriously requiring from them were up to speed. Now, we didn't know what to do in the room. And so we now said, okay, let's bring each one of them and give them a laptop and ask them to be able to just put out, they should just give us 3 slides of themselves, myself, sell to us, 3 slides, and then project it and let us feel how you are on top in terms of what you are by way of software and technologies and how you can play with MSC and all of that. Can you believe the gentleman that we were thinking was going to be spot on failed us, and the lady who, by way of her composure and how he started her conversation from the word go, thought it was, we felt like this lady was going to give us the ash. She ended up selling herself, went through the build-up of the PowerPoint, and even give us the gist that has to do with the characteristics and finishing lines of a PowerPoint presentation. And guess what? She was the one that we end up giving that job role to. And as I speak to you now, she is deputing with the Accra main branch as far as the Access business is concerned. Relevant skills, proficiency in industry-specific tools, software, and technology. But that may be sounding too wide of a thought for you to now appreciate. Now, what we mean by relevant skills, people, we are talking about the technical skills, the proficiency of what I talked to you about earlier, the job-specific skills, ability, the abilities that directly relates to the job call that you are being assigned to. And please take note, all these small groupings that you find yourself, the other opportunities by way of volunteering job that you guys do here and there, please pay attention to it. Very, very, very critical. Because these are the platforms that you end up building. These are the platforms where colleagues will come to you. Please, I'm not able to do my project work. I am in page 4. I want you to help me. And you think that they are pushing a lot of work. gladly go through those assignments and help them out to be able to function all those activities and tasks. Because you see, you are building your own self for the greater output that you are going to achieve in the future to come. Now, per each industry and what it requires. So I don't know if you are going into of course, the insurance business, the banking industry, the government space. You have to know what that particular industry will require based on your own ability. Please take note of that. Based on your own ability. Do not forget the fact that, like I said, I had my first degree in engineering because at the time, my old man advised me to go and do engineering. And I did computer engineering. But here is the case that I felt that I was so versatile with business because my mom was a petty trader and all my mothers have been petty traders and they've been good at it. But here is the case that I was advised to go and do engineering. I don't want to flout at the authority of leaders or my parents. So I end up doing that. And just after that, I realized that I have what it takes to be able to communicate and carry a simple idea with people. And so I end up doing that. And so having finished my first degree, I immediately employed myself to do my MBA. Please don't finish your first degree and be rushing to go and do your master's. You should have a minimum about 2 years to be able to do your master's because first degree is just a common level grant for you to be able to come to the job market. And whatever is your inherent build skill, you now go and settle in and build your master's around it. And so a degree, first engineering guy, end up doing my master's in marketing. And so it gave me the ability to appreciate the marketing dynamics. And after that, take this note, always make sure you become a command in the language of the business. I repeat, always make sure you become a commander in the language of the business that you find yourself. Today, in the business space, MBAs really is good, but it doesn't really bring a lot of relevance to the business world today. We want to see you chattering in the particular space and field that you find yourself. And so if you're able to look out for that, based on the industry and your own ability, people, you will be able to tailor-make your skills into that. Way back in secondary school, I was a sacristan, I was a SU president, I was what. Little did I know that all those moments was building me up for me to come and do a job that will give me the opportunity to speak to world leaders and be able to empower a man like Glyco and be able to push the business agenda. I never know that. But I picked these communication skills way back from the secondary school. University brought a front, I toughened it up, and today we are where we are. And so please, let's take note of that. When we talk about the relevant skills, like I mentioned in the past, we have to also take note of the soft communication, the soft skills. We are talking about communication, teamwork, problem solving, and other relevant skills. You realize that whilst you were still with your team members in school, anytime you're on the project, you alone, you find yourself, it was difficult for us to be able to carry you along because you were not basically exhibiting certain soft skills for us to be able to appreciate what you want to bring on board for all the team to carry you along and be able to achieve the main objective for us, for the purposes for which we are on the course. And so some, because of time, you can look out for adaptive skills, transferable skills, and specialized skills and factors like that. Now we come to teamwork. The employers are looking out for people that have a positive energy, individuals that are very disciplined by way of being time conscious, being driven by tasks that are given them, their sense of their owning ownership to any activity that is given them. Now, we are also looking out for relevant skills based on the job market that you find yourself. Somebody has successfully graduated university or diploma or even finishing a national service, but he or she cannot even use a basic simple Excel tool, a basic simple tool of a PowerPoint, a basic simple tool of communication, but yet still the person have gone through all these processes. Now, one of the critical things that we look out for is teamwork and collaboration. Every business is very particular about teamwork and collaboration. the tendency of building that unique sense of team spirit and having a strong sense of ownership. When we talk about teamwork. Now, these are some of the things I want you to take note of when we talk about teamwork. Now, you can't be on the team if you have some strange deficit of your communication. So, Benjamin is on the team project A. We have to see that Benjamin or Mohammed or Mustafa supposed to exhibit a unique sense of great communication ability. What do we mean by that? He or she would clearly be able to articulate and convey ideas, thoughts, and plans to the team members. That is one. Two, the great sense of cooperation, the willingness to work together with others and achieve the shared objective. So if you are on the team, there is always a reason for which we formulate a team. And so when I visit my Swedro team, they are super dynamic team. I visit the whole team. They are super dynamic team. What is making those team members, the branch manager being the head, and the sales team of up 25 sales for them to be able to be unique in terms of the cohesion and they working together? These are some of the things I'm talking to you about. They are a sense of ability of communication. They are communicating clearly. They are individuals here when we bring them on the team and we would want to have a Zoom meeting and we give them the opportunity to communicate. They are not able to communicate with clarity. Anytime you are communicating, one, you need to communicate with power, authority, and clarity. I repeat that again. You need to communicate with power, authority, and clarity. And so there are instances where we open the door for you to sit in a boardroom and project to us as the business leaders the idea that you are bringing from your company. Oftentimes you see the guys have brilliant slides, yet their tendency of communicating what is on the slides and coupling it with relevant examples in the dynamic business sense becomes an issue. So they are not able to communicate clearly. So we are saying that if you're on the team and you are working together, you need to have that clarity of purpose of thought by communicating with power, authority, and clarity. The cohesion, like I mentioned earlier, mutual respect, valuing diversity, perspective, and skills and experiences within the team. Whoever brings an idea, please do not shoot it down. There is the need for you to appreciate it. And now that you are coming to the job market, you may be given the extension to do some part-time with the company. And if they happens to put you on a team or you go join a business voluntarily, there is the need for you to cohere all these things that we're talking to you about. And the other bit that has to do with trust. Let the individuals on the team to be able to build trust with you. I am here, and like I said, I am leading managers that are even beyond my father's age. I have 59-year person on my team. I have 58 managers on my team. But the great sense of it is that they will tell you that guy is young, he's disciplined, and he's always up to speed in terms of his data and management of his decisions. And you do not take any decisions or relevant information without having the concrete information to be able to use that as a fulcrum in determining the path the team needs to go in tandem with the objective and clarity that we have all come together. Please, are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Now, one of the great things that if you're a national service personnel or an entry job and candidate that we look out for, seriously, it has to do with communication skills. I'm surprised that today a person has graduated from Tech, he's graduated from University of Ghana, UPSA, UCC, and a common email, the person cannot be able to put together a common email. And even if he needs to communicate, he's not able to have a strong command on the English language by way of the communication and the presentation and the interpersonal skills that he needs to have with his audience. And it becomes a challenge. These are some of the things that we seriously place priorities by way of we wanting to get somebody on board. And so your communication skills need to be very, very up to speed. Okay, I'm trying to pick feedback from the messages that is being shared, and I think it is out of my reach anyway. And so, like I'm saying, communication skills. So please, how would you be able to build yourself in that line? Please get some good books and be reading. Please go on YouTube and be reading and be listening in to the particular individual, the particular shift of your dissections of the communication skills that you would want to affect. If you are given the opportunity to just ask, the person is a national service personnel, the National Petroleum team, there's some of my guys in there. The guy just finished national service and he's going through mentorship with us. And then some way, somehow, the leader who happens to be the unit head has to fly out because of this politics and all of that, has to fly out to Dubai. And they immediately ask the national service personnel guy to more or less double up as an assistant to a very old woman who is in the department that needs to take up the department activities. And there's the need for them to also go for management meeting and come and see. The woman says she cannot be able to do the presentations. And here is the case. And national service personnel, since these individuals have built themselves strongly through the communication skills, he knows how to be able to put himself and push this communication by way of what they are about to present to management. And at the end of the day, as I speak to you now, Sheriff still is with the National Petroleum Commission, all because that guy is very, very, very sharp in terms of his communication skills. Now, these are some of the things that you have to look out for. Verbal communication, articulating ideas and thoughts through spoken language. Articulating ideas and thought through spoken language. In my space of the business that I'm finding myself in insurance, it doesn't necessarily mean that if a manager goes to sell or want to do a presentation to his audience, he ought to, by way of crook or strict jacket, end up speaking English. We are saying that you are having an idea and you want to communicate the idea over. The medium for which the people or the individual will be comfortable should be the communication grounds that you have to pursue your communication styles through. And so he is in a Volta region and you want to go and sell insurance to the Ghana National Fire Service team, as I was there last 2 weeks. And then you start going through the presentation, end up speaking English. But here are audience that you want to appeal to them. So in your opening communication and remarks, you can slip through the language of the people. Nelson Mandela once said, if you speak to the ordinary person on a common acceptable language, the person accepts it in his heart. He accepts it on the mind. Sorry. And so it is not a natural standard communication language, maybe English or whatever. The person accepts it on the mind. But if you want to let the person feel it in his or her heart, then you speak the native language of the person, and the person feels it in his heart. I recall I was given the opportunity to go and do a presentation at Pentecost Church. They have their headquarters at Labadi. And before we got there, there were two banks that had been given the opportunity to do the presentation. And when we got to us, Glyco Life, I realized that these are the back office staff of the Church of Pentecost, their headquarters. You know, they have employed accountants, what, and these individuals are there. But of course, they have an objective. They are a Christian-based organization and driving the agenda of the church. Before I start the conversation, I end up raising their own Pentecostal song. And I end up wooing off this and make chorus and whatnot. People, can you believe? All of these team members tune towards me. And at the end of the day, I end up rolling my presentation in 3. And there were 16 people in the room. We sold each one of them and then outweigh our competitors that came there. So sometimes you need to have this at the back of our mind. If you are communicating and you realize that the standard way of the communication language is becoming a barrier, please, the idea is that you want to communicate an idea. Look out for the other models, channels of the communication that is acceptable, and please go on that tangent. Now we go on to my slides. Please, is it changing at your end?
Oh. No.
Good. Is it changing?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. So problem solving and critical thinking. Please, these are the things that we're looking out for. Because of time, we're saying that strong analytical, creative, and logical thinking skills to tackle complex challenges. So the guy is an entry person who has joined the team, the company, or he has joined the department. He's a national service personnel. Anytime that we come together as a unit and when we go through meetings, Zoom sections, the intellectual ability power that is exhibited by this individual is unique. And companies oftentimes pay attention to individuals that are very powered with problem solving and critical thinking. So he gets into the company and there's a particular issue that begins to confront the company. He starts going through research. He starts going through thinking, the thinking process. And at the end of the day, this individual or the national service candidate is able to come out with a very unique problem solving and paper and present it to the company. And so before we zoom into this, there is a need for us to also appreciate that any problem that comes by way for you to be able to appreciate the problem solving, critical thinking, and chill, there's the need for you to analyze the problem. How do you analyze the problem as a candidate or as a level entry person? Identify and understand the complex issue. One, evaluate the information and assess the relevant data that is at your disposal by way of research and making sure that you grab the relevant information. Three, generate a solution. How do you generate the solution? You may have to develop an innovative and effective solution. And like I'm saying, this is generic because each relevant problem-solving paper would be very, very peculiar with the diversity of the industry that one will find him or himself. So anytime that you hear people say, what do you have? What are you bringing on board? And you often see on the problem that I'm a solving problem, a problem. How do individual goes through this? We review tons of CVs, yet when these individuals are brought on board, they don't even know how to even go around it, let alone be able to trigger their critical thinking powers. So people, there is the need for one, analyze the problem, two, evaluate the information. How do you evaluate the information? Assess the relevant data, research it, and make sure that you prioritize the data that you have gathered. And you generate solutions. And how do you generate the solution? Develop innovative and effective solution towards it. Four, make decisions. Choose the best course of action based on the evidence and analysis that you have gathered, based on the research that is at your exposure. And the last that I'll end up at the problem solving and the critical thinking has to do with implement the solution. Put out the plan together by way of reaction and ensure that it is adapted. And how do you do that? When you do that, there will be supervisors, there will be middle supervisors. You run it by these supervisors, leaders in the company. And maybe you yourself can dissect this problem and start exhibiting your own defined problem solving paper that you have put together. And by so doing, you realize that you are making some headway. And so when the time comes for us to meet, maybe within the departmental level, maybe at management level, you already have a paper that is able to address the issue. And how would it be able to address issue? Please make sure that you always go through an informed research. And let me be quick to add here. There is no problem on the surface of this business, earth, or with any company that doesn't have a solution. And so these are some of the things. Any problem that you encounter by way of your own personal business, by way of any company that you end up joining, always go onto the internet status. Please search out for articles. Every problem, somebody perhaps have already given an article write-up on that. I'm not saying normal papers. So I'm talking about article. And there's a way for us to search for article and be able to read several fine thoughts individuals across the world have put together. And they have captured them in articles. And so you have to use that as one of the tools that will be able to help you to be able to break ground as far as this is concerned. The other has to do with time management and organization, ability to prioritize time, task, manage time effectively, and meet deadline. The guy needs to report at 8. He's a national service personnel who has completed. He's a job entry person, and he's reporting at 9 o'clock. Clearly, you are not even demonstrating that ability of you having the skills that the business should be, paying attention to. I mentioned to you, I had opportunity managing 160 national service team members. And I one time joined a section of the team that had been assigned at the University of Ghana. I got to University of Ghana grounds, and the national service personnel has abandoned the job that we have asked the person to go through. And he is now instructing his the driver who is teaching her driving lessons to come to the University of Ghana campus and come and carry her the driving lessons. Imagine that. Time management is very, very, very critical. And so anytime that you are given that opportunity, people, please prioritize the task that has been given you. So you will see people say that that gentleman who is on the call is a very unique person. Anytime that we give the person the task, he's able to deliver. People, watch out. Anytime that we give a job or a task and there are 6 national service individuals and the 2 individuals end up meeting timelines, watch out for that. Is a CEO candidate that we're looking out for. Watch out, that is a manager or a leader that we're looking out for. Watch out, that is the person that can be a unique supervisor that we're looking out for. So please, time management is critical. And whenever we give you time, make the opportunity out of the schedule that has been given to you. And please, sift out the job based on the tasks that have been given you. Prioritize your tasks. Focus on the most important, the urgent one that has been assigned you, so that you'll be able to deliver. 2, set goals and objectives. Establish clear tasks and deadline. I was given the opportunity to become a branch manager way back in Kofodia, and I was sitting in Kofodia, and just after my school, I wrote to the business. I informed the company that, look, I want to take the opportunity to do my service with the company. They said, Benjamin, quickly come on board. Why? I had already presented papers to the company, telling them that if you pick Star Life Insurance Company in Kofodia, Star Life is a company, has 4 sales managers in the branch. Please take note, this is the problem-solving, critical thinking thing that I'm talking to you about. As a sales executive way back in Kofodia, I presented a paper and shared with the management that Glyco is having only 1 branch manager in the office, having a pickup, and the company has a 3-bedroom, giving the company, the manager, a car, a fuel, phone, laptop, and a traveling opportunity, all these. But check our competitors, Star Life. Star Life was having 3 sales managers. So if a branch is assigned, let's say, a budget of, say, 20,000 Ghana cedis, Star Life is doing 60,000 Ghana cedis because 1 branch manager, sales manager will give you 20,000. The other second manager will give you 20,000. That is 40,000. And the third manager will give you 20,000. That is 60,000. As compared with a budget given to Glyco branch manager as what? 20,000. So why can't the company take opportunity and add another 2-3 sales managers in the branch? I put out a paper, gave relevant examples, and gave a forecast of the budget and what we would be able to achieve. As a sales executive, I was not even a unit manager, talk of a team leader, and I presented that. And when I shared with management, when the opportunity came for somebody to come in as a branch manager in Accra main branch, you have all the top guys in Accra, but they give me the opportunity all the way coming from Kofodia. Problem solving and prioritizing tasks and making sure that you become relevant. So please, let's take note of that. Task, time management in the organization. And the other has to do with leadership and initiative. Leadership and its initiative. Look, we have series of the Gen Zs who are coming out today, and they are doing great stuff. Leadership and initiative. I just spoke to you about. I was a sales executive. I was demonstrating leadership, and I was bringing initiative. Before I became a branch manager, I presented a paper and they've collapsed the sales manager role. Before I became a branch manager, I presented a paper and told the business that, look, do not continue to be renting for branch managers. Let them beef up their reward and get them to use their own money to rent and live in there so that they would appreciate the value the company is bringing and they would appreciate what we call the cut cost analysis. And so if you are in the branch, we give you a vehicle, we give you a fuel, and we are paying close to 200,000 Ghana cedi for an office space. You will make sure you achieve the revenue target. And that is leadership, and that is initiative. And so when we talk about we being in charge as and demonstrating leadership, oftentimes this is where it starts. From the school, he is the club president of that. He is the this of that. He is the this of that. All those small attributes, people don't throw away of those attributes and experiences. Put them together because that is what you will come and exhibit at the very bigger platform that you find yourself. Now, when we say leadership, what do we mean by that? What we mean by that is that take in charge, lead the project, lead the team, trigger initiative with confidence and direction. So if you are a leader and the buck stop with you, you demonstrate the way, you lead the projects, you bring the initiatives, and you'll be surprised. Oftentimes, most of the ideas that are even channeled out of the southern sector managers are brilliant ideas coming from the sales executive and the branch managers. Because when I have the opportunity to meet them, I give them the opportunity to share their own ideas. And out of these ideas, I collate from Takrady, Swedro, Accra Minis Legon branch, and I put them together, run it, and make sure that I have a prototype of that idea before I can share to the top business leaders. Now, when we also say that you are a leader, we are saying that you inspire others, you motivate and energize the team members to achieve the shared goal. No sales manager under my watch, no branch manager under my watch will be a timid person. The way I'm speaking to you, that is how I affect my team. Because a sales leader is powered with what we call energy. We are sales force. Anytime you hear of a force, it is attributed to military, it is attributed to the police, and anytime you hear of what sales force, it means that the forces, how disciplined they are, how objective-oriented they are, how goal-oriented they are. That is what we expect leaders or salespeople to become. And if you happen to be a leader, you are expected to, one, take in charge, lead the team, to inspire the people, motivate and energize them. 3, set visions for them. 4, make tough decisions. Leaders make tough decisions. Last 2 months, I have to put out a write-up to management and tip it out about 3 or 4 managers that will be terminated because of non-performance over the period. These are very brilliant people. These are very good guys that I have on the team. But we are looking out to the decision that we're taking. We are not taking decisions based on our own emotions and principles. No, the business first. And so you have leaders take what we call strong decisions without emotions. People, are we together? And the last bit that I will leave with you is that they drive result. Every leader drives result. And so I'm not surprised that the Wave technology together with the National Service team are driving the result because they are unique leaders in there and they are doing it. And the last slice, because of time, adaptability and flexibility. The guy is a national service person. He's a job entry person. And they tell him that, oh, you need to adapt here. You need to report on time. You need to make sure that you burn yourself a bit because we need to come and do some backlog. And they will be giving all sorts of excuses. Please, if you want to be relevant in today's job and market, you have to adapt and be flexible. The willingness to learn and adapt to new situations is very, very critical. You can't be able to do that if you are not flexible. You don't adjust to situations. You don't learn quickly. You have to learn on the job immediately. You have to thrive in ambiguity. If you find yourself to be too much comfortable, look, we will leave you behind and we will move. So please, let's take note of that. Continuous learning. This is very, very important. Anytime that you find yourself in any space or you would want to become relevant in the job market, please, you need to be empowered by always desiring to learn new things. What is happening in today's world? You need to know. What is the current interest rate that is rolling? What is the current inflation that is ongoing? What is the current trend issues that is happening now? Over the weekend, there was some activities that went on. You don't spend all your time on TikTok and running your life out. Please, you have to update yourself with relevant information and then be able to power yourself in that job market. And so if you are within the bank, what is happening in Kigali? What is happening in South Africa? What is the new trend that is happening in the banking space? If you are in insurance, what is the new ice-breaking strategy that is coming on board? Is it now the new technological IT that is being driven by AI? You need to power yourself on that trend. That is the only way that you remain relevant. Guys, please, are we together?
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic. The next, because of time, is that you need to be digitally literate. Today, like I mentioned, we have individuals. He's a national service person who has finished and he's not even on LinkedIn. He doesn't even know how to even do proper research. If a topic is given to the individual, how will you be able to open the buttons on the Google search and be able to pull out relevant articles and relevant information that will make meaning? The person today, he's only on TikTok and he's going through a lot of noise that is hoofing off on that platform. But when you even go to TikTok, you can set your settings to make sure that relevant information gets to you. So you have to be digitally savvy. All right? What is happening in the new trend? You have to know how to even use a laptop when a laptop is giving you a Zoom call. How can you log on the Zoom and join a meeting? If they put you on call, can you quickly put out a meeting today in the unit or in the company? A national service person, someone who has finished diploma and an university graduate, first class and second class apart in that regard, he doesn't know how to turn around the digital tools. We will leave you behind. And let me take this opportunity to tie in. Before you finish diploma and a degree or even master's, you have to know, one, if you can have the opportunity to know another language away from the standard international language, English, you have to know some few things by way of French. You have to have your driving license. And three, you have to know how to be able to articulate yourself so that you become very relevant in the job market. The last bit has to do with digital analysis and interpretation. They give the guy an Excel sheet and they say, this is the data. He can't speak nothing to it. Please, you would have to open yourself up to what we call data analysis. It is easy. Go online, go to Google, YouTube. Everything is on YouTube that you can learn. Or take time and go and offer some, what's the name? Excel class and let them take you through. It's one unique skill that as I speak to you today, the personal assistant of the managing director of my company, the lady got in through that opportunity. And because of how relevant he is with data and analyzing data, the girl has gotten herself a job. So please, some of these things you have to look out for. Use the digital tools and make sure that you understand certain software, understand the digital concept, grasp basic concepts like algorithm, data analysis, and online safety, leverage on digital resources, effective use of search engines, online libraries, and other digital resources. Create digital content, produce high quality digital content like document, presentations, and multimedia. Or you also have to take advantage of communicate digitally. Today, when you check people's WhatsApp, he goes and sits somewhere and wouldn't take a very critical bit of his environment and he put it on the status. Look, people are watching. I was excited yesterday. You had brilliant sessions with my colleagues who walk you through those grounds, so I wouldn't waste much time in that regard. Be creative and innovative. Emotional intelligence, very, very important. Today, the gentleman comes on board and then he does something and they reprimand him. He does something and they query the person and he's timid, he's bored. Hey, you have to be up in terms of your emotional intelligence and ground. You need to understand yourself as a person. Guys, please, are you with me? You need to understand yourself as a person. And today, individuals that know themselves are making headway in terms of the job market because they know themselves. And I just quickly would want you to know what you have to take note in terms of emotional intelligence. Number one, you have to be self-aware, self-awareness. You have to know yourself very well before you can relate to people in the community, in the unit, in the company, and even any project that you will be assigned on. If you know yourself, you will be able to relate to individuals on the team. Two, self-regulation, controlling your emotion and understanding triggers. So you know if you go and drink, it trigger your emotions. You know if somebody shout at you, it trigger your emotions. So if you know that your boss is asking you to do A, B, C, D, because you are always not meeting timeline, that's how come he will shout on you, that will trigger your emotions. Please close that gap. So the third is motivation. So first, self-awareness under the emotional intelligence. The two is self-regulation. The three is motivation. What do we mean by motivation? Being motivated to succeed and keep going in the line of emotional intelligence. And four, empathy. Understand the feelings of others. Understand the feelings of others. You are collectively together as a team. Whatever happens, please do well and understand people. Let them appreciate that you also feel for them so that they can also appreciate whatever that you're also bringing on. But the last bit under the emotional intelligence has to do with social skills, the ability to communicate and effectively and build relationships. People, at this your level, if you would go and be scrapping somebody's grounds or home just to build relationships, you would have to do. Today, I can't go to Kolebu and I'll go and join a queue. I am a failure because the business that I'm doing, I've built wonderful relationship with all the doctors, the very powerful doctors in Kolebu. I can't go to the, what's the name, the passport office today and go and join the queue. I am a failure. I can't go to the bank today and join the queue. I'm a failure. I drive and go and visit the branches, and sometimes I'm trying to use the ATM and the ATM is giving me problem. I just drive, knock, enter the branch. I say, I'm looking out for the branch manager. They say, okay, the branch manager is busy. Is he expecting you? Oftentimes, this is the question they ask. So I'm doing a cold call on him. I'm coming from a glyco office, blah, 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 blah. And they say, okay, so please hold on in here. And they give me the opportunity. I write a check and say, look, I'm having a problem. Can you, oh, boss, we'll take care of you. Building relationship. Building relationship. Very, very, very critical. And the last bit I want to believe is that transferable skills, people, you would have to also take note of this, that all skills that you have, you need to be able to inculcate in that and build because of time. Relevant work experience. This was what I was talking about, that you can't be able to excel without very relevant experiences. Align yourself with the job requirement and responsibility. You have to demonstrate great skills and knowledge relevant to the position or the role that they give you. So the guy is a purchasing and supply student. The guy is an accountant. The guy is name the courses that you do. But at the end of the day, the guy is reading. And along the line, he took advantage of all the attachment sections that he carried himself through. And when he comes on the job market, he is being relevant. And that's what we're talking about. You have to make sure that you understand the new trends that is happening in the industry, highlights transferable skills and competencies, reveal a pattern of a career progression. You have to know where you are going. I always talk about the SWOT analysis. You wouldn't be able to know where you are going if you don't understand all this. And I'll get there soon. And so as I conclude, these are some of the great stuffs that we require from an entry-level person or a national service person. Now, before I end my section, I am asking a cardinal question. One, who am I? Your identity. Who am I? I told you way back 21 years down the line, joining the brand called Glyco and walking on the street of Koforidua. I definitely know where I'm coming from. My mom being a petty trader, my dad, when I complete, what's the name, documentation and traveling outside, I indicate that as a fashion designer. But I want to bring to your point, my dad is an ordinary tailor. That's Benjamin, where I'm coming from. My dad is an ordinary tailor. And I have aunties and mothers that are from the very low background, and they have inspired us so much. And we have known where that we want to send the status. So who I am, my identity, how would you be able to know yourself unless you get closer to your source? Who created you onto the land of the living? It is a human, a supreme being that brought you on the land of the living. If you buy a phone, the phone will have today a manual that tells you how you have to use it. Wherever that you go, for you to have all these things that I've discussed to you, for it to become relevant, you need to know yourself, identity. Where am I from? History, successes and failures, background. I told you where I am coming from. And so when I find myself and I meet this top guy, you travel outside and you see 28-year guy who is a managing director of a multinational company. And you come into the country and you see 32-year-old guy trying to compete with you in a small company in a corner. The standard can never be the same. If people are saying the they call it what? The sky is the limit. Please, today from this call, take note that the sky is your starting point. Where you are coming from to inform where you want to go and what decisions that you take. The third question I'm asking is, why am I here? Your purpose. You are here for a purpose. I am here to influence my generation and generation yet unborn. I am here to create an impact. And how would I do that? I went through all these sermons just to be able to get to where I am. And so today, when I enter into your office, either in Ghana or West Africa or anywhere around the world, and I'm talking to you about the great solutions of an insurance, and you want to do some way towards me, you would appreciate where I'm coming from. Is it the first degree? I have it. Is it the master's? I have it. Is it the charting? I have charted in marketing. Is it the charting in insurance? I have charted. Is it that I am married? I am married. Do I have a family? I do. Now, when I bring to you that this is what I'm talking to you about, that, look, pay attention to what Allah is talking to you about. Pay attention to what God is talking to you about. You will prioritize my background and you understand where I'm coming from. So purpose is very critical. Know where you are coming from, know where you are going, and then know why you are on this land. And the last but one is, where am I going? Destiny. I am going somewhere. And so if you know where you are going, any road at all will not lead. Because I know where I'm going in university days, I didn't join any Afekubo. Because I know where I'm going, I don't drink. Because I know where I'm going, I got married early. And when we meet at the boardroom, I saw that all my top bosses were wearing the rings. And if they are wearing the rings at a point in business decision, they realize that if you are married and you are having a woman behind you, you will be able to take informed decision and remain relevant in the business. So I got married early. So I can't be flirting around to come wherever I want to go. And the last bit is that, what can I do? Discussing one's ability in destiny. All what I spoke to you about, it is the tendency for you to be able to go to all the abilities. The problem-solving skills, the what. It is the problem-solving skills. And today, if I find myself here, knocking grounds of insurance business in Ghana and West Africa, it didn't matter where I was coming from. I was determined that I want to change the narrative, and I am changing the narrative. If I have worked with the company for 21 years and I am not 38 years, it should tell you that the fourth question, the third question, my purpose, I know it clearly, and I know where I'm going. On this note, guys, these are the few cardinal points that I'm asking you, and I want you to have correct answers to this evening, so that when you know what the job market is standing for, you will know what to do. There are jobs, some other job market, they will tell you, look, we want to employ you. You have to go and sleep with somebody and close a deal. What is my purpose? I know my purpose, so I won't break that cardinal. You enter into other offices and they want you to sign a business deal. Oftentimes, people will tell you, oh, let's meet in my office. There is a reason. The seat that you sit in front of him is structured in a spiritual way that you will end up signing the business before you leave your company, leave the person's office and get to your company and realize that you've taken a very bomb decision. You have to be fired on all levels and understand where you are going. as I conclude, I spoke to you about what we call attitude. Now, use this number per the alphabet to calculate the score. Time is not on our side. Hard work will give you a particular number. Attitude will give you a particular number. Honesty will give you a particular number. So when we got to the maybe a 1 or 2 question time, when you do the calculation and the number that gives you 100, that is what we are talking about, attitude. You can't do anything on the surface of this earth if you don't have the right attitude and the mindset. And so if you have the attitude, the right mindset, you won't be able to change your narrative. On this note, as I conclude, I want to sing a last chorus verse of this song that has powered me up. And I want you to appreciate that you spending time on this call. There is a wake-up call for your inner man for you to know that you can't fail your family. You can't fail the people that are looking up onto you. But you will make sure that all the relevant characteristics and attributes that the business world today are looking out for, you will get it, but you will remain relevant to society and in the pursuit of your destiny. And the song goes like this. It will be muddy, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. Thank you so very much, and I'm privileged for sharing time with you today. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We are so blessed this afternoon, right? Okay, so we are taking 2 questions. If you have any question, like I said, we will just drop the Google sheet. Sorry, the Google form, and then you just put in those questions, and then we can address that later. So we are taking 2 questions, quick. So if you have any question, just raise your hand, and then you go ahead. Guys, any question? All right, someone is asking, that is money a wrong motive, knowing the times we find ourselves? Okay.
Is money a wrong motive, knowing the times we find ourselves?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. But the point is that, look, guys, it is not always about money. Okay? But of course, we need money to survive. Check this. Any business that is out there in serious search of money, oftentimes do not break out the profitability margins when we go to the boardroom. But is the business out there to solve a problem in the community? The more that problem is solved in the community, it is there that at the end of the day, the revenue generation is linked up to the bottom line that the business is looking out for. And so oftentimes, people usually miss it out. Please spend time in building yourself. It is very, very important. I told you I was a sales, okay, maybe I didn't get to that point. I was a sales executive for 10 years before I accepted to become a branch manager or take any other top leadership role. But in all of this that I was doing, I was getting the normal money to be able to hold body and soul together. But money was not the focus. Money was not the attraction. The attraction for me, Benjamin, because I know my purpose and my destiny, I was spending time to build myself. So please become relevant. My senior brother always tells me, he says, if you are very powered with the information and the knowledge you have, people will come and chase you with the knowledge, with money. So please stay relevant and build yourself in terms of the attributes and the relevant skills that is being required of you. If you're able to know that, look, the first time I traveled out of this country was paid for me back and forth. And I lived in that 4-star hotel outside the country for a program that I went, all because I spent time in building capacity and the business was interested in what I built myself for. So it is not always the money, but it is about building capacity. And if you build capacity, the money will come together. Thank you.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Benjamin Avickson. One question I want to ask: we have people who are connected now. They want to start applications, or they started applications, and probably some of them have even started looking at job posts and stuff. One question I want to ask is that: so what would be your recommendation for somebody who wants to make an application? Let's say the person wants to make an application for an IT role in Glyco or any other company. What would you expect as, let's say, a top management person when you pick up the person's CV? What would you expect to see on their CV so that it will give the person the ability? Because if the person doesn't have chance for the interview, the person wouldn't have chance to even speak of what he wants to say. So what would you expect on the person's CV before you even call the person for an interview, or before you add the person to the people you would want to invite for an interview?
Fantastic question. A quick one. When I pick the CV, the first thing that I want to check is the job experience of the person. Number one, the job experience of the person. All right. So today, individuals or candidates that are graduating, you spend 4 years. Before you finish school 4 years, you should have 4 years experience already on your CV. Because the first year, you should drive yourself to go through what we call the internship class and programs. So first, I am checking out for what we call relevant experiences that you are bringing on board. 2, we would want to check your abilities, because some of them will indicate, I am very good communication, I'm very good at that. We are tilted towards that before we will invite you into the room for us to have a conversation. There are even instances where we bring people into the interview session, and they have brilliant CV, and they come and speak very well, but on the job, they don't have what it is. And so it has to also take out you interview skills for you to be able to pick up talents that we are looking for. So number one, we want to check the experiences. What have you been engaging all this while? 2, we want to see your attributes. What are you good in? And you always have to sell yourself. So if you know you are a very good communication person, write it. If you know you are a very good person that can write proposal, write it. If you know that you are a very good person that can be able to do a lot of presentation, please write it. Do you have good listening ability? There are members that the moment they come on board, we are having conversation. He will not listen. He will not listen and even take notes and be able to make meaningful contribution. So we check all those physical attributes before we come and check your qualifications and all of that, because per every role, there should be a minimum entry requirement by way of qualification before we allow you to go to. I don't know if I've answered you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Derek, I know you are on the call, but let me borrow your 2 minutes for this last question. Mr. Benjamin, you have a question here. Someone is asking, how do you deal with a boss or bosses who make you feel like you don't belong to the workplace? A clear example is, let me use this scenario. Someone went to do their internship at airports. When she got there, someone walked up to her and asked, who brought you here? And why are you here? These kind of questions, they make you feel like it's like you don't deserve to be there. So how did you get in here and all that? So if you can address that.
Fantastic. So what it is that within the job setting, see, there were some of the things that we spoke earlier on, the attributes that you need to possess to be able to remain a very good team player when we talk about team bonding and the factors like that. When you have a boss that doesn't like you, please, you have to still stay focused on your job role. What are you there to do? All right? What are you there to do? Even if it has nothing to do with corporate politics here and there, because the person is not liking you because of who you are, but he or she is not liking you because of the person that brought you. These other factors are also there. But every boss would like to see the team member bringing results. So if you can find a way to stay within the job role, what you are expected to do, and do it diligently to be able to appeal to your superiors by way of the outputs or the outcomes for which you are being employed to. Please, it will go a long way. One thing I also want us to know that, look, you have to have what we call the emotional intelligence stuff that I spoke to you about. It is very, very critical in this moment. I myself have been in that situation where other politics has to come through, and my superior at the time didn't like me. But my superior is always clinching to me when he sees that I am bringing the result. Please watch that. So is there anything that you can do uniquely to be able to appeal to that man? Please go ahead and do. Within the JD that has been given to you, your job description, make sure you fall within that. And if you realize that you are contributing meaningful to the team and the success of the objective of the goal, he will tone down. And please, you always have to have an attitude around the boss. Take note of that. Anybody who sits in an authority has been given that authority by the business and by God himself. So you have an attitude around the boss. There is a story in the Bible where, I don't want to bother you that much, that is it Noah or whoever that came to see the children, Yam and Shaphat, that he realized that the dad has drank to that bed, and they saw the nakedness of the dad. The good book says that when the old man rose up and he cursed, it came to pass. Even though at that level where the man found himself was not conducive and it was not making sense, when he pronounced the curse, it came through. So whatever it is, please hold yourself around your bosses and leaders and make sure that the reason why you are there, to focus on that and try to do your best. And there's no situation that is pending. Thank you.